What would you do if you were trapped underground, in total darkness, for over 2 weeks? No food, no clean water, and only one way out. A flooded tunnel network even elite divers struggle to survive. How do you keep 12 boys calm when they can't swim, and they're about to be dragged underwater while unconscious? This isn't fiction. This is the real story of the wild boars, and the rescue that defied every odd. Welcome to Dead or Survive.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dead or Survive. I am your host, Rob Riches.
And I'm Cheryl Riches.
Well, it sounds like you're going to make a big splash today.
Indeed, yes.
It's going to be a very in-depth.
Well, let's hope it's going to be in-depth enough. It's a big story. Do you remember it?
I do.
Yeah. It was a big story from, I have it in here, 2018. It wasn't that long ago.
Nope. My memory can go to 2018. Anything after it's a little sketchy. We also found out that I'm not very good at trivia when it comes to music.
You were doing okay in most of them. I think I was doing better.
Well, probably. It was music.
Yeah.
It wasn't facts. We all know about you and your facts. Exciting news.
We have exciting news.
I have exciting news.
Okay.
My mic gets to get turned up this week. Everybody said I wasn't loud enough. I've never had anybody tell me I wasn't loud enough.
As he screams into his
I'm
mic.
screaming into it now. Am I loud enough now? That's what we get complaints about all the time.
Yeah.
Rob's too loud. And the
Yeah.
last one was like, I could barely hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back then. Screamy angry man.
As everybody turns their volume down.
Or up, because maybe they're listening to it in the morning and they want to wake up. Anyways, I think we got the mic thing solved.
I hope. I mean, it's only been,
72 episodes to get it right. That's the other exciting stuff. We're starting to put stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
So make sure you go check us out on YouTube. It's under Dead or Survive, correct?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a slow going upload, 1 per week, probably, maybe 2.
But we're going to get all our episodes on there. If he's been working hard at putting up little video snippets and little stuff on there. So if you prefer to listen to us on YouTube, I know we talked about this a long time ago, but we've actually got the internet and everything kind of working well for us now. Back up and running and did a little more research on this podcasting YouTube-y stuffy. Because remember, we're old. Yeah, well, she's old. I'm not.
You're older than me.
What?
Same.
Really? Age-wise, maybe. Mentally, I'm 12. Physically, I died in the Civil War. Just saying. Anyways. So yeah, YouTube's starting to go up slowly and starting releasing like 1 a week or something up there and some videos. And anyways, check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, if we could get like 1 subscriber, that would be good.
Yeah. Other than us. I don't think it's right that we subscribe to our own stuff. And yeah, and if you're on here listening on your favorite platform, please, if you made it this far, like us. If you make it to the end, subscribe, follow, comment. All that stuff helps it out. Share us, tell all your friends.
Yep.
Like I've told you in past episodes. Throw it out on your deck and don't even listen to it. Just let it play. That all helps.
It does.
Anyways,
it does.
Enough about us, enough about begging and pleading and all this other stuff, garbage. What do you got for us? Cave diving.
Cave diving. 12 boys with their coach caught in a cave. Do you want me to get into my story? Is this what you're telling me to do?
Yeah, do you want me to give you like, let her rip potato chip?
Yeah.
You want me to go old school? You want to go old school back in
Well,
there?
I mean, tradition, right?
Okay, tradition. All right, let her rip potato chip.
Okay. It's June 23rd, 2018 in northern Thailand. It's hot and humid.
I've been to Thailand.
We have been to Thailand.
Did I go in those caves?
We didn't go into any caves.
That's because we're smart.
Apparently. It's hot and humid and rainy season is just getting warmed up. Like, forget your umbrella, bring a kayak levels of wet. The Wild Boars, a youth soccer team of 11 to 16-year-old boys, finish practice and decide to celebrate a teammate's birthday the most normal way possible by biking to a giant cave system in the... I am going to botch these names. I'm going to try. I apologize. By biking to a giant cave system in the Doi Nang Non mountain range.
Doi Nang Nong? I can't do that?
You can't do that. I'm shaking my head furiously.
Oh, I didn't do that. But I did. I'm sorry. I thought that's how you pronounced it.
Okay. Tam Luang Nang Nong, the cave they entered.
How come you get to do it?
I'm just saying the words.
Oh.
I'm saying it. The cave they entered is part of a complex limestone karst formation in the Chiang Rai province. The name translates to Cave of the Sleeping Lady, a nod to local legend. It's one of Thailand's longest cave systems, over 10 kilometers of narrow passageways, steep descents, and pitch black chambers. It's breathtaking, but also extremely dangerous during monsoon season.
Sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun when it's not monsoon season. I would probably want to check it out like during dry season. Probably
So
not.
we don't go to Thailand during dry season.
What?
Well, that makes me have to work. You go to Thailand to lay on beaches, don't you?
Yeah.
Walk around the markets, taste the food.
The next time we go, we're going to go see more than just beaches. We're going to see like actual Thailand because we got to go back. I'm going to tell you, Thailand is amazing. And if anybody ever gets the opportunity to go, go.
Go.
Yes.
I'm not even a beach person. Go.
Yes.
Go on the tuk-tuk.
Yeah. Yeah, the tuk-tuk was fun.
And go to that road. What road was it?
Bangalore. What was it called?
Bangladesh?
Bangalore?
I don't know,
I
but
can't.
go to that road.
Bangala Road.
Bangala Road.
Yeah.
So much fun. I met an Irish friend there. Long story. Continue on, my
Okay.
love.
Water flows rapidly through the cave's underground channels, often with little warning. With them is their 25-year-old assistant coach, Ekapol Chantawong, affectionately known as Coach Ek. He's sort of a big brother figure to the team, and the boys adore him. Ek has a powerful backstory. Orphaned at a young age, he spent several years living in a Buddhist monastery where he learned meditation and mindfulness, skills that become invaluable in the days to come. Among the boys were Adul Saman, 14, who spoke English and would become the translator for the group when rescuers arrived. He was originally from Myanmar and had lived in a church-run shelter, excelling in school and soccer. There was Duang Pech Promthep, or Dom, the 13-year-old team captain, known for his leadership on and off the field. Other boys included a mix of outgoing kids and quiet, determined athletes. They were united by their love of football and their close-knit bond as teammates.
Did Dom grow up to be a car racer?
I don't think it's that Dom. Maybe that's why they called him Dom. Maybe he liked that. And then 18? Oh, yeah, Fast and the Furious.
Oh, Fast and Furious was furiously fast. It was ripping through everywhere. Has it stopped?
No, it has not.
They got another one coming out.
They lock their bikes at the entrance, grab some flashlights, and head inside. They wander in about 4 kilometers.
4 kilometers?
Yeah, like that's quite the hike.
Do you think? For a birthday party? You do like a 1 kilometer walk,
Yeah.
you come back out, you have cake.
Yeah, that's 4
Not a
kilometers.
4 kilometers.
4 kilometers. They would have had to do 4 kilometers out, right?
Well, that's usually how it works, yeah. You
I
gotta
don't know. They must have been having fun.
do.
They were exploring, laughing, and completely unaware that the sky above them had opened up like a busted fire hydrant. Monsoon rains, earlier than expected, begin pouring. Water floods the caves, narrow passageways fast. By the time they realize something's wrong, their exit is completely submerged. They're trapped underground, no food, no clean water, no daylight, and absolutely no clue how or if.
They went 4 kilometers without snacks. I don't go on my motorcycle without snacks.
Well, I mean, we're like Western-minded people, right? I don't think they have little packages of Oreos and stuff that they shove in their pockets when they're going on hikes.
Yes, they do. They have 7-Elevens there.
They do have 7-Elevens.
So don't you even start with me.
But how hard was it for you to find a cookie in those 7-Elevens?
I thought about. I wasn't from there.
Okay. Anyways. Where did I go? Absolutely no clue how or if they're getting out. Did I say that? That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. No clue how they're getting out. No snacks because they ran 4 kilometers without a snack.
Yeah. Yeah. Back at the surface, as daylight turned to dusk and the boys didn't return home, parents began to worry. Several of them called each other, realizing none of the boys had checked in. At first, they assumed the team had gone out for dinner or gotten caught in the rain, but something felt off. This wasn't like them. Parents rushed to the cave entrance at Tam Luang. There, just past the gate, they found a cluster of bikes, muddy but neatly parked. Alongside them were backpacks, water bottles, and cleats.
Oh, backpacks with water bottles.
Well, why didn't they take them on the hike?
I don't
have
know.
no answer for you.
I have an answer for you. They were 16.
Yeah. It was clear the wild boars had entered the cave, but they hadn't come out. The authorities were called almost immediately. Local police arrived first and began a quick sweep of the entrance and nearby areas. When they realized just how deep and complex the cave system was, they escalated. Within hours, Thai Navy SEALs were contacted. Initially, it was just a small SEAL unit tasked with exploring the cave mouth and seeing how far the water had reached. They soon found that the cave's lower chambers were completely flooded. The SEALs tried diving in, but they were quickly met with near zero visibility, jagged walls and strong currents. The deeper they went, the more dangerous it became. The full SEAL rescue force was called in within the next day. International help began arriving soon after. Meanwhile, rain continued to pour. Rescue teams began working around the clock to stop the flooding. They brought in massive industrial pumps to drain water from the cave. Thai engineers diverted streams and rivers above ground to reduce inflow. This is kind of cool. Local farmers allowed their fields to get flooded, sacrificing their crops so that water could be redirected away from the cave. It became a full-blown community effort. I thought that, I mean, who wouldn't do the same, but maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
And then other people, I mean, that's their livelihood, right?
Yeah,
Like who knows how much money they lost and all this stuff, but
yeah, they did it.
it's always amazing.
And at this point, those farmers didn't even know if those kids were still alive.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's always amazes me that, you know, we'll sit around and, I mean, today's atmosphere, bombing each other and everything, stuff like that. But when something like this happens, you actually see the humanity in people.
Isn't that
it's sad that it takes something like this to have humanity.
Right. But isn't that what Mr. Rogers used to say? Look for the helpers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
But I never got to his neighborhood. I got lost on Sesame Street.
Inside the cave, Coach...
That was a very bad dad joke.
You should have saved it. Now you got like an even worse dad joke for the end.
How do you know I got an even worse
one? You just researched it 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I've got contacts everywhere. There's hundreds of dad jokes out there. I got a great one.
Okay. Inside the cave, Coach Eck was doing everything he could to keep the boys calm. He knew panic would only make things work. Drawing on his years at the Buddhist monastery, he led them into meditation, teaching them to focus on breathing, clear their minds, and remain still. The practice helped conserve energy and oxygen and kept fear at bay. Eck had several years as a novice monk after losing both parents as a child. He learned, I don't know why that's saying that again, but...
We already heard that.
I already heard that.
That's okay. Did he learn Kung Fu? Maybe he could break through the water.
He's not Doctor Strange.
What?
He could have just done like a spinny, spinny, spinny and went through the wall if he was Doctor Strange.
I didn't say he was Doctor Strange. I was thinking more like Chung Li.
Oh, okay.
Chung Li?
Yeah, I don't know.
Tai Chung? The 10 Rings?
Yes.
I forget now.
Anyways, he helped the boys' mental health a lot, is my point of this paragraph. Well,
so easy, I can just get you off track. Yes, mental health, focus,
right,
breathing,
right,
lots of oxygen.
The boys passed the time by talking about their favorite foods, playing word games, and supporting each other. They used their muddy hands to etch names and thoughts into rocks and walls. Meanwhile, the world was beginning to pay attention. As Thai news outlets began reporting on the missing boys, international media quickly picked up the story. The combination of youth, danger, and mystery spread like wildfire.
Wildfire, but lots of water. Sorry, continue on.
Within days, the cave entrance became a hive of global media. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and dozens of other networks set up cameras and live feeds.
Well, it's good the networks got there. Did anybody bring any help?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're going to get into that.
All right.
Social media exploded with hashtags like...
hashtag save the world. Look at them go. Pound. Hashtag.
I had to look that up because I didn't realize... How long do you figure hashtags have been around?
Since 2008.
About that, 2000?
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways.
They've been saving the world for years, baby.
And people around the world anxiously awaited updates. The pressure was on, not just to find the boys, but to save them. And that's when the real specialists began to arrive. Among them were Rick Stanton and John Balanthan, names that until then meant little to the outside outside the cave diving world. But to those in the know, these two were legends.
Rock stars.
They were.
Get
rock
it? Caves, rock stars. Dad jokes galore.
I
see
what you did there.
So many.
Rick, a retired British firefighter, had spent decades mastering cave diving, often exploring uncharted underwater tunnels for fun. John, an IT consultant, was his frequent dive partner and a long-distance runner known for his methodical precision.
Hooked on phonics.
Their passion for cave diving began in youth, fueled by a love of tight spaces, go figure.
What?
Adrenaline.
Oh, so many jokes. So many. Keep it PG, Rob. Keep it PG. Continue on. Insert your own jokes.
Adrenaline and technical problem solving, they trained in some of Europe's most dangerous cave systems where the margin for error was thin as a pencil. They had rescued trap divers before, mapped underwater cave networks, and developed their own gear when commercial equipment didn't cut it. They weren't flashy, they were calm, quiet, and obsessed with safety. When they heard about the wild boars, they didn't hesitate. Getting to the buoys was no small feat. The journey required navigating over 4 kilometers of flooded cave system. The water was frigid, the visibility was near zero, and some of the tunnels were so narrow that divers had to remove their air tanks and wiggle through with their fingertips. It took them hours to get deep enough to search effectively. They laid guide ropes, mapped each twist and turn, and set up air supply caches. It was mentally and physically grueling. Even a momentary lapse in concentration could mean drowning. But on July 2nd, 10 days after the boys vanished, Rick and John pushed through a chamber known as Pattaya Beach, and what they found defied belief. 13 people alive, huddled on a muddy ledge above water. The video John filmed as he floated up is now iconic. How many of you, he asks. 13. Abdul Saman replies confidently. Brilliant, Rick says with audible relief. John adds, you have been here 10 days. You are very strong. A boy asks, what day is it? Monday. John replies, you have been here for 10 days. The flashlights danced across the mud-soaked walls, revealing thin faces, weak smiles, and stunned relief. But it is also just the beginning. The world exhaled and then held its breath again, because finding them was only half the battle. Now came the impossible part, getting them out.
Did they bring snacks?
I don't know.
I'm very obsessed with snacks right now.
You hungry?
I'm hungry. We should eat before we do these.
When the rescuers first arrived and saw the boys alive, their reactions were a bit comical. They were relieved, but some apologized, worried that they caused trouble. Imagine that, 10 days trapped in darkness, and their biggest fear was being in trouble with their parents.
Yeah, I know that fear. I still have that fear.
But the world didn't see troublemakers, they saw survivors. From that moment on, it wasn't about getting them out, it was about keeping them alive in the meantime. Once the boys were found, the rescue didn't get easier, it got more complicated. The cave was still flooding. The boys were over 4 kilometers.
It was still raining after 10
Oh, yeah,
days?
it's monsoon, yeah.
Well, I know it's monsoon. You think you get a break somewhere in there.
No, it's still flooding.
Jesus.
The boys were over 4 kilometers deep, perched on a ledge barely above rising water, and none of them could swim. Rescuers couldn't just...
They're from Thailand and they can't swim?
I would be in that water every single day.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Right?
so beautiful. I don't know.
I don't have to worry about it. I'm fat, so I float, but still.
They probably can't swim through what they would have to swim through.
All right.
Where was I?
You were talking about how they couldn't
Okay.
swim and they were going to be rescued.
Right. Rescuers
And
couldn't...
we don't know about snacks.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about snacks right now.
Oh, good.
Rescuers couldn't just bring them food and water and wait for better weather. Monsoon season was only getting worse. The clock was ticking. In the meantime, divers began making regular supply runs into the cave.
Ooh, food.
Yeah, each trip took nearly 11 hours. They brought in oxygen tanks, thermal blankets, electrolyte drinks, medical supply, and waterproof flashlights. High-calorie food, like, there you go.
So much food.
Like ready-to-eat military rations and energy gels were delivered in waterproof containers. Even small comforts like toothbrushes and clothes arrived, wrapped tightly in plastic. And then came something even more precious, letters from home. Families kept behind a perimeter outside the cave wrote short emotional notes to their children. Don't worry, we love you, many of them read. Stay strong. The boys wrote back with damp scraps of packaging, their handwriting shaky but heartfelt. Some apologized for causing worry. One even asked his teacher not to give him too much homework when he got back.
Yeah. And how's the bikes doing? Their chains are getting rusty.
Maybe their fathers are going to hide them and say they got stolen.
Oh, you have to bring that up, didn't you? Didn't you?
You just told me the story. Let's take a quick second for you to tell this story.
So, my father, who I can't even speak ill of anymore because he's dead. When I was younger, My brother and I would not put our bikes away, and my dad kept telling us to put them away, put them away, put them away. We got up one day and our bikes were gone. And he's like, well, probably got stolen. Not buying you anymore. You don't put them away, you don't take care of them. 2 weeks went by before we got our bikes back. My dad went and hid them in our neighbor's garage. For 2 weeks, we had to run beside our friends or walk everywhere because our bikes were gone.
Savage.
However, they were always put away after that.
You learned your lesson.
What a jerk. I think that's abuse. Child abuse.
I think that's awesome. All right, let's get back to these boys. Oxygen inside the chamber was dropping dangerously low. Measurements showed the air had less than 15% oxygen. Anything below 19.5 is considered unsafe. Divers brought in oxygen tanks just to keep the space breathable. At one point, they feared they might lose the boys to suffocation before any rescue attempt could even begin.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That'd be horrible. Drowning, suffocation, or burning. Gotta be horrible.
I think of those three things, suffocation in this case wouldn't be as bad because you would just go to sleep. Once the oxygen levels got to a certain point, it wouldn't be like you're gasping for air. You'd just go to sleep and then never wake up. Anyways, Coach Eck, although he remained quiet and calming, he took responsibility for his decision to enter the cave and comforted them when they cried. The boys later said his presence kept panic at bay. Above ground, the rescue site had turned into a massive international staging area. Over 10,000 people were involved in some form. Divers, engineers, doctors, volunteers, media, even cooks and farmers. Some worked around the clock to pump water out of the cave, while others dug holes in the mountainside looking for alternate entries. The rescuers, while exhausted, bonded with the boys. They learned their names. They saw their personalities. There were shy ones, jokesters, and the ever-polite translator, Adul, those whose calm English helped both sides stay connected. Every supply run became more dangerous as rains threatened to cut off access. Rescuers began rehearsing what seemed like a desperate plan, a full extraction. One mistake could cost a child their life. But staying inside the cave much longer wasn't an option. The world was watching. The pressure was immense. But somehow, through mud, fear, and 10-hour dives, hope held on. Finding the boys was a miracle. Keeping them alive was a struggle. Getting them out, that was the nightmare part. The rescuers had a few options on the table, none of them good. Option 1, wait it out. Wait months for the monsoon season to end and let the water recede naturally, but oxygen levels in the cave were dropping, the boys were weak, and more rain was on the way. If the chamber flooded, they'd drown. Option 2, find another way in. Teams were drilling into the mountain from above, but the cave was deep and winding. No one even knew if they could reach the right chamber in time. The geology was unstable, and there was no guarantee it would work. Option 3, teach the boys to dive. This was quickly ruled out. It took elite divers years to build the skills needed for cave diving. These boys couldn't even swim. Putting them underwater in darkness through narrow passages with zero visibility, that wasn't risky. It was just madness.
They could do it.
They couldn't do it. They did it.
Tie a rope to them and swim.
No, it's all underwater. It's not like you get to bob along with your head above water.
Yeah, but you got an air tank or something, right?
Yeah.
Just tow them. Get a Jeep.
And didn't you not hear the part where they had to take the air tank off in spots because it was so narrow?
I figured they chiseled that out by now.
Chisel it?
Yeah.
I don't think they've gone down there and chiseled anything.
Well, see? Bad planning.
But then came the boldest idea of all. Something so extreme, so controversial, it didn't even seem real.
They got him out with a Jeep.
They sedated them. Anesthetize each boy. Mask them with full-face scuba gear, strap them to a rescue stretcher, and have divers pull them through over 4 kilometers of flooded cave while they were unconscious.
That's what I just told you.
While they were unconscious?
I said drag them through. Did I not?
I thought you meant like kicking and screaming the whole way.
Well, what? You can't kick and scream and you're drowned.
Well, they can't kick and scream if they're unconscious, that's for sure.
This is true. This is what I said. I bet you they hooked them up to a Jeep too, right? Get to the end.
They never put them on a Jeep. The idea was terrifying. If a boy wake up mid-dive, he could panic, rip off the mask, and drown. If water leaked into the mask, same result. And what about dosing children with sedatives in a pitch black cave? What if they got the amount wrong?
Well, there's some people on bridges that do it.
People in bridges.
Under bridges. Crackheads.
Oh.
They do it at night.
Oh. So that
It's
just
such a
makes
sheltered life.
No, just that was really too cryptic. It went right over my head. There's that.
I'm sorry, people.
Still, it was the only plan with any chance of success. Dr. Richard Harris, Australian cave diver and an anesthesiologist, was brought in. 5th time's a charm. He was a legend in both fields.
The reason why she said that is because she couldn't say that word. I'm not even going to attempt it. But she couldn't say, what's the word? Oh, she's still laughing.
Because it came out an ECTC. I don't even know. Okay. He was a legend in both fields, a man who could dive into a collapsed underwater tunnel one day and perform a complex surgery the next. Even he hesitated. Harry knew this had never been done before. In fact, he believed it couldn't be done. He expected fatalities, possibly all of them, but he agreed to try. With help from fellow Aussie diver Dr. Craig Challen and a tight-knit team of experts, they prepared everything. Ketamine and atropine injections, oxygen delivery systems, stretchers, pulleys, masks fitted to each boy's face. Meanwhile, the boys were given a crash course in what was about to happen. They would be put to sleep, literally, not with gas, but with injections, then guided through the underwater maze by elite divers. When they woke up, they'd be safe. Maybe. Then tragedy struck. On July 6, just 4 days after the boys were found, former Thai Navy SEAL Saman Kunan died. He had volunteered to help despite being retired. While delivering oxygen tanks deep into the cave, he lost consciousness on the return swim. His diving partner couldn't revive him. His death was a gut punch to the entire operation. If a highly trained diver could die, what chance did 13 untrained kids have? Saman's sacrifice wasn't in vain. It reminded everyone just how dangerous the mission was and how much was at stake. His widow later said he loved helping others and he died doing what he loved. With grief in their hearts, the team pushed forward. The rescue would begin in 48 hours. The world held its breath. The plan was set. The risk was massive. But on July 8, 2018, after more than 2 weeks trapped underground, it was time to begin the rescue. The team didn't rush in. Everything was precise, controlled like surgery, but in the mud, underwater, and under the eyes of the entire planet. Each rescue run involved a team of 2 divers per boy. The boy would be fully sedated, masked, and strapped into a stretcher, or body-sized waterproof bag with handles. The divers then had to maneuver him through choke points barely wider than their shoulders, underwater tunnels with zero visibility, jagged rock chambers that could shred equipment, sections where divers had to remove their tanks, push them ahead, and then pull the stretcher through behind them. It was slow, grueling, and exhausting. A one-way trip from the chamber to the entrance took 5 to 6 hours. Before each trip, Dr. Harris injected the boys with ketamine to keep them unconscious, atropine to slow their saliva, and an anti-anxiety drug to prevent involuntary motion. Then each was fitted with a full-face diving mask with continuous oxygen flow. Once the boys were sedated, there was no way to monitor their vitals underwater. If a mask slipped or water leaked in, they'd never know it until it was too late. The first group to be evacuated included 4 boys, handpicked based on physical strength and proximity to the cave mouth. The idea was get a few out, and if things go wrong, stop. But somehow it worked. After hours of tense maneuvering, all 4 boys emerged alive, weak, pale, but breathing. They were rushed to a nearby field hospital, then transferred by ambulance and helicopter to Chiang Rai. God, I'm going to botch this.
What are you doing?
Chiang Rai Prachin. Oh, I can't even say it. They were transported to a hospital.
Do you practice your stories?
You say this word.
And I'm not saying nothing. Last time I started saying something, you yelled at me. I'm not saying nothing. You're not going to bait me into that. I said it, and then you're like, you can't say that.
Inside the cave, the morale shot through the roof. It could work, but the clock was still ticking, and more rain was in the forecast. The next 4 boys were brought out the following day. The procedure was repeated: sedate, mask, guide, pray. This time the divers moved more efficiently, having learned from the first day's route. Again, the 4 boys made it out safely. That left 5 still inside: 3 boys, the coach, and the man who had kept them alive. By now, weather conditions were deteriorating. Pumps had been running 24/7 to keep water levels manageable, but rain threatened to reverse all progress. If the chambers reflooded, the remaining group could be trapped again, this time for good. But the final rescue day moved fast. Divers pulled out the last 3 boys first, then Coach Eck, and finally one of the Thai Navy SEALs who had remained in the chamber emerged last. Mission accomplished. All 13 lives saved. Cheers erupted outside the cave. The world exhaled. People cried. News anchors got choked up on live TV. For once, the headlines weren't all about politics or tragedy. They were about humanity pulling off the impossible. Every child was alive. There were hundreds of unsung heroes behind the headlines. Volunteers came from around the world. Local farmers let their fields flood. One diver flew in from Finland. He had just landed for vacation in Thailand. When he heard the news, instead of sunbathing, he packed up his gear and drove north. Dr. Harris, who we talked about, he confessed afterwards that he didn't believe all the boys would survive. He even prepared for legal consequences if they didn't. I thought we'd be carrying out bodies. Coach Eck refused food until he made sure all the boys ate. He rationed their resources carefully. Many credit him for keeping them alive for those first 10 days. One of the boys came out. One of the last boys to come out, Mark, held tight to his rescuer's arm, even unconscious. His hand gripped the diver's wetsuit the entire way, as if his body instinctively knew to hang on. Divers shared moments of total silence, too, just kneeling in the cave, holding the boys, praying it would work. The rescue captivated 1.5 billion people. It streamed live, covered minute by minute. Thailand held national ceremonies. Medals were awarded. Statues were built. The British divers were knighted. The SEALs were honored. Dr. Harris received Australia's highest civilian award. But the trauma lingered. Some of the boys had trouble sleeping. Loud sounds startled them. One boy said he didn't feel safe in enclosed spaces for over a year. A year? I would never feel safe in an enclosed space again, ever. Like, ever. Counselors worked with them quietly. Coach Eck received counseling too. He carried guilt for taking them into the cave, but the boys said they never blamed him. He saved our lives, one said. Years later, several boys reunited to climb the mountain above the cave, the one they'd been trapped inside. They planted trees in memory of Saman Kunan. And when asked what they'd learned from it all, one boy replied simply, "Never give up, even when it's dark." Years later, some of the boys remain close. They've spoken on world stage, met royalty, and inspired millions. So what have we learned? If you're exploring a cave in monsoon season,
Take snacks.
check the forecast.
Oh. And take snacks.
Never underestimate meditation, hydration, and teamwork. And sometimes the best rescue involves ketamine, wetsuits, and a bit of global magic. And that is my story.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You should have took snacks.
I don't know. I think that was like, I don't know. I was telling that and I was tearing up a little bit there when they were talking about the notes from their parents.
I've been tearing up this whole episode, not because of the story. I've got some kind of allergy going on. Seriously, we've had to stop this 3 times so I can blow my nose. There's something going on in this Batman room. Or I'm just sad that my Batman room.
All this old stuff in here. That's what it is. It's like
don't talk about yourself that way, honey.
Oh my God. It's like
you're not old.
In an antique store to tell our stories.
You can do it from another room.
I'm not the one having issues here. You are.
And I'm working through them. Well, look at that. That's 2 stories in a row from you without vicious rapes.
I know. It's a pretty big record, I think. I think it's got to be a record.
Probably. Is this a story you didn't want to tell last week?
I'm not
Is
saying.
this the one that you didn't think was that important?
I'm not saying.
It's the one you thought wasn't that important.
I've got
13 kids weren't that important.
I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. You're trying to bait me into it, but I won't bite. Oh, it's not happening.
Anyways.
Yes.
Good story, honey.
Thank you. I enjoyed that story. That was a good one.
It's an uplifting survival story.
I think a lot of people have already heard it. However, they haven't heard me tell it.
And they may not either, the way you were stumbling through that thing.
Well, good thing for editing.
We're going to do a blooper reel. We've already discussed this. It'll be Cheryl going, oh, it's really good. So now I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying not to sniffle here because my nose is running like a fountain. The other day, you made a comment about my Darwin Awards.
What did I say?
They're all men. Why are they all men?
No, that's been an ongoing comment. That's not just the other
So,
day comment.
before I start my stories, I looked something up.
Darwin damsels.
No. It said,
Okay.
while Darwin Awards are not officially gendered, statistically, they are overwhelmingly awarded to men. A study published in the BMJ found that men account for a large majority of Darwin Award winners,
That doesn't.
with 88.7%
Astounding.
of the winners being male. This you're going to love this, though. You're going to love this part. Okay. This statistically significant led to the concept of male idiot theory.
No, that's amazing. Tell me everything. Tell me everything.
Nope, that's as far as you're going. All I'm giving you. You want to look up any more? Look up your own. Don't care. I was just looking through stuff and I read this and I'm like, really? There's a whole male idiot theory out there? Nope, didn't care.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
That's gonna be my opener next week. Well, idiot theory.
How do we survive it, women? We marry these male idiots and somehow we must survive. That's what it's going to be.
That's why life insurance costs more on men than it does on women.
It's because we're adventurous. We try things. We try things. Then you guys go, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, because we don't want to die.
You only learn from us doing it. Right?
I think we learn by common sense.
May 2022, the 13th, not a Friday, in Spain. Dutch football pro, but we're not giving out real names.
Johnny.
So we're going with Johnny. Was hungry for a vacation prank.
He was a football pro, though? Like, was he in, like, the pro leagues? Like,
well, it says Dutch football, so I'm assuming soccer.
I know, but was he, like, in the pro leagues? I understood soccer, but...
Oh, well, it says pro.
So... I'm sure if you wanted to, you could find out who it was.
Yes. So, he decided that leaping off a cliff into the ocean would be fun. Thinking, my athletic strengths will carry me way out into the beautiful blue waters, 30 meters below.
Wow.
He instructed his kinfolk to film the fatal feat.
No, why didn't they stop him? I don't understand. This is the thing. Why don't they stop them?
I don't know. He let out a triumphant yodel and tombstoned into the abyss.
Did he hit the cliff?
Keep in mind that 30 meters is even high for experienced cliff divers.
Yeah, 30 meters. That's like, it's close to 100 feet.
Right?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yes. So at 10 meters is a horizontal distance needed to reach the deep water from the cliff face. And that calculated velocity on impact is 88 clicks or 55 miles per hour. That's
at 10 meters.
Yeah. So how fast was he going?
Yeah, like a bullet.
Right? This sick flip became a free fall into the sharp sea rocks below because not even a great footballer can leap 10 meters horizontally. Adding insult to injury, the impact velocity was equal to being hit by a vehicle on the motorway. So as you can guess, Johnny died.
That's awful. That's sad. Have you seen, you showed me that video recently posted. It has to be AI, where the guy jumps up.
I don't know, because then you got those high divers that jump into little pools at fairs and stuff. I have no idea.
I don't know, but that terrifies me. I have a hard time even watching those guys. It's terrifying.
Oh, it is.
Like, we've been raised our whole life not to dive into unknown water.
Or shallow water or any of that stuff. And it's like, yeah, we'll just go against the odds.
Yeah.
And on those teams, there's always a woman. Next.
I don't think there is.
Why? So we're going to keep it with water.
Okay.
And nobody knows why this happened. And I guess we'll never know because they died. But Johnny drove into a car wash.
Yep.
And then he exited the Scion hatchback, while the drive was still in gear. Under its own power, the Scion eventually crept forward as cars do, and then the 56-year-old was pinned beneath the vehicle and then drowned and died.
What?
The driver was noticed by the next person and visit the car wash. Eek. Authorities took the unresponsive body to a medical center where the death was confirmed. No extenuating circumstances have been found, so we have no idea why he was all washed
I'm having a really hard time picturing this. Is this like one of those bays that you just drive in and use the power washer?
It's one of those drive-through car. So you got in, the car wash that we go. You know how we got trapped in one?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got trapped in one. Another story.
So he got out during that?
Yeah, but it's on this one where you click in and it pulls your car through. Right. So he got out and got in front of it, and then the car ran him over. And nobody knows why. They didn't know if he was trying to get out from avoiding a bee or if he was like why he did it whatsoever. But he hopped out, and there was no like they said, extenuating circumstances. There was no drugs in his system, no alcohol, no nothing. They have no idea why all of a sudden.
So strange.
Gets out of the car wash, and then
Wow, that's like the fungus took over his brain or something.
Yep, became a zombie.
So strange. And then he drowned.
Yeah.
It's not like he got crushed to death.
Well, he got crushed, pinned underneath there. He couldn't go, so he was pinned and water in his lungs. Wow. So both kind of did him in. We have another Johnny and his wife. So this would be like you and me.
She was probably saying, stop it, whatever.
No. So what is the national pastime in the United States?
Drinking?
Baseball.
Oh.
So people should know how to throw, right? It's their national sport. So Johnny and his wife, Johnnyette.
I feel like we called her Jane.
Yeah, I think we called her Jane. However, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Anyways. She was only injured. Johnny died. What they thought they would do is they were driving around New Jersey, and they thought it would be a great time at 2 a.m. in the morning, because they're bored driving around New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
That they would take a quarter stick of dynamite and throw it out the window.
Okay.
Just to see what happens.
Here we go with the dynamite again.
I know.
It's always the dynamite, and I don't understand. You can't go to the store and say, I'd like a stick of dynamite, please. I don't understand where they get the dynamite.
I think you can buy dynamite. I think you can buy caps.
Really?
I think you can.
Oh, I didn't think you can.
Oh, I think you can. I don't know. I think I've told I've told the dynamite story with my dad on this show before, so I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
However, so you'll have to go back and listen to other episodes. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, they get the dynamite, and he tosses it out the window. And it probably would have worked well if he had the window down.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
So, tossed it out the window. Failed to notice the window was closed. Boom! Blew up the car.
She was not partaking in this. There's no way.
How do you know? You weren't in the car.
Because, so if you said to me, I'm going to throw out a stick of dynamite, first of all, I'd say no. But then if you were like, for whatever reason, before our divorce was filed, you said, I'm going to do it anyways.
Before our divorce was filed? Yeah. We're getting divorced?
If you're throwing around sticks of dynamite while we're driving, that seems like a divorceable offense.
I don't think so. I think that just adds excitement to our marriage. All right. So my wife is divorcing me now. Yeah,
listen.
Didn't we just go out to hold on a minute here, back up. Did we not just go out to a field with explosives and shoot with a gun?
We did, but
that was okay.
It was at a safe, it wasn't in a car while we were driving.
I'm just saying.
We were at a safe distance, and it was tannerite. It wasn't dynamite.
Still explosive. And we didn't follow directions. We taped two of them together and blew up cantaloupes. So should I expect papers tomorrow?
No, it's not dynamite. You weren't driving. You weren't throwing it. Like, was he throwing it out his window, out her window? So many questions. If it was out his window, then like it's right there. How do you not notice that it's closed? And if it's out her window, was she supposed to have rolled down the window and she didn't? I don't know. But so many questions.
I'm going to go with it was probably her.
Maybe he just had bad aim. The window was down and he just had bad aim and didn't hit the window.
Didn't hit the window?
He didn't hit the opening in the window.
You think he hit the frame of the car?
Yeah, I would.
As a car professional, do you think he hit the B pillar? Or the A pillar?
I totally would. If I was throwing dynamite out a window, I would definitely hit the frame and not the open window.
Of course you would. Because that's
Because I have terrible aim. Maybe he has terrible aim.
this is a woman that once played in a joint league or whatever you call it. What do you call
Mixed.
it? Mixed league.
I didn't play in a mixed league. Every time I showed up, they would be like, we don't have a girl. Can you sub? And I would hate it. So I stopped showing up because it's awful. I hate baseball. I like
She
watching
would
baseball.
stand in back as back catcher and then hand the ball to the umpire.
Yeah.
Ask him to throw it back. That's her athletic
Yeah.
skills. Just so
Just
so you know, she would miss the window.
This is my personal shame. However, I fully admit that I'm not a baseball pro. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he missed.
All right. So I got two more here.
You have two more.
I could. I don't know. Do we need to go into two more? What do you want? Do you want two more? One is really stupid. Like
No,
really stupid.
Let's not do the really stupid.
Well,
ones.
and then the other well, they're both really
Oh,
stupid.
you mean like as in like they were really stupid or the story's really stupid?
Oh no, they did something really stupid.
Let's do one more. Save the other one for the next time.
All right, I'll give
Okay.
you this one.
Okay.
Johnny, who was 24, was killed in California. So what Johnny was doing was he thought it would be a good idea to break into a bicycle shop.
Okay.
Because why? I
'Cause
guess bicycles are expensive, aren't they? You
Yeah.
can get
Well,
some
how
of
many
them, but-
people have stolen bicycles?
Yes,
Like,
but he's breaking into a shop.
They almost stole your bicycles.
Shut up. I should have never done the bicycle one. So anyways, as he was breaking in, he wanted to keep his hands free.
Okay.
So he put his flashlight in his mouth, ran to break the glass,
With the flashlight in his mouth and it went through the back of his throat.
rammed into the base of his skull as he hit the floor because he tripped.
Oh,
the flashlight killed
no.
him.
This is why you don't run with suckers in your mouth.
This is why you don't break into places. How about we do it this? You don't break into places.
I'm going back to childhood. If you were running around, you had a big old lollipop in your mouth, what would your mother
Big old lollipop.
Yeah, what would your
Did you
mother
just come
say?
from Tennessee? Got a big old lollipop out there in our cowboy boots.
What would your
Y'all-
mother say to you?
My mother?
Yes.
Nothing.
She would have. She
We
would.
weren't allowed to pop lollipops. We weren't spoiled like you city kids.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyways, yeah. Tripped, fell, flashlight in the mouth, back of the head,
Ouch.
Dead.
Awful. Fast. Fast.
fast. You know what? I'm
Awful.
giving you the other one anyways.
Okay.
Johnny number 2, 26, was killed. However, he won the bet. He
Well,
won the bet with his friends.
He's got that then.
That's right. So he got 2 awards that day. He won his friends and he got a Darwin Award. When his friends bet him that he would not put a loaded revolver in his mouth with 4 bullets and play Russian roulette.
Why?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Did you call them friends?
No.
Anyways, pulled the trigger.
Oh no.
Right? How do you live with yourself as a friend?
Did
after that?
they should have been charged with like second-degree murder.
Something, right?
Yeah.
Like
That's awful.
100%. You should
I
not,
mean-
like, that's not even a fun game. Like, why would you?
Yeah, obviously this guy's mental capabilities were not meant for games like that, or he wouldn't have ever played, especially when there was 4 bullets in it. Like, how many, did you say there was 4 bullets in it?
Yeah, 4 bullets in it, and it's
And that's a 6
shooter.
chamber, so
Yeah,
yeah,
look at your odds.
60% chance that he's gonna die. That's
Yeah,
awful.
like Russian roulette, usually you put in 1, you spin it.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Anyways.
I don't like that story.
I told you weren't going to like it.
Yeah.
I told you it was a horrible one.
Yeah,
But I have to
Okay.
do what I have to do.
you do.
So anyways,
Hopefully you have a good dad joke to end us.
this is an amazing dad.
Okay, you finally got a good one.
What do you mean finally? I've had some good ones.
You've had a couple good ones. The last, I don't know, 10 have been terrible.
Oh, 10. Oh,
10.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right. What is the saddest subject in high school?
What?
Math has so many problems. You're laughing. Yay.
That is not terrible.
Ah, you liked it. You laughed. That's what we're going with. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Dead or Survive. Again, I am Rob Riches. Please like, follow, subscribe, tell all your friends.
Do all the things, please. Yes, we'd like to keep doing this, but just like for maybe a few followers, that would be good.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, again, thank you for listening, and good night, good day. See you later.
Bye.